Hello neighbor, I'm live just a couple minutes early. I'm trying to make sure that that I am actually live. So bear with me just a moment if you've already joined in. It's gonna take me just a minute to make sure I'm where I need to be. I'm waiting for that notification to pop up that tells me I'm live. And you are only seeing my stamping area tonight. I haven't figured out what software is best, and when I use my phone to do videos, sometimes I have a hard time switching over from the portrait view to the desk view. So that is why you're just seeing the desk view. See, and it looks like I am live, but on my end it looks like I am stuck. So let's see. I'm just going to wait one more minute. So we'll start officially at 6:01 instead of 6 o'clock. But this is what we're going to be working with tonight. This is the Thoughtful Expressions bundle, and I just got this. I really like it, so I thought that we would do our class tonight with this bundle. And we might as well go ahead and get started. So, and since this is a create as we go class, sometimes it doesn't go exactly the way that I plan, but we still end up making some really beautiful cards. So I hope that you are joining us and ready to make something wonderful. Okay, first I'm gonna need to put, I did tell you this is a brand new stamp set, so we are gonna need to put this together. So what we're gonna do is, these are rubber stamps. They come on a sheet like this. Now, back a long time ago, I was talking to someone about this the other day. Now they're all cut so that all you have to do is punch them out like this, like you would little paper dolls or anything else. But they used to come as one big solid sheet, and you had a pair of scissors and you'd have to cut around each and every one and then layer it onto little wooden blocks. Now, I was really picky about my blocks, and I used to always have to sand them a little bit and put a little varnish on them because I felt like that would make them last longer. Not everyone did that, but it was really hard to get them all lined up perfectly straight. I don't know if anyone else remembers that, but it was really tricky. I still have some of my favorites in a box. Now we're going to peel off the backing for these, and this part is not sticky, so this is not sticky at all. You could actually stick this to your acrylic block if you wanted to stamp without putting the sticker on. I don't like to do that. So the way I put mine on is I line up the left side, and then I kind of just lay it down really slowly to make sure that I get it as close as possible to in those lines. because the closer it is, the better you'll be able to judge when you're stamping. So that's what it turns out like. And I leave my backing piece in here, and then I just sit all my stamps inside. So this is a brand new set called Thoughtful Expressions. There are 2 different kinds of stamps too. So these are what they call cling stamps, and the other ones are photopolymer. So you can get and it will tell you in the catalog which one you're getting, so you'll know. Either one will work with your acrylic blocks, any acrylic blocks actually. I do have some favorite blocks. Somebody asked me the other day, which ones do you use the most? And I tend to use D, H, E, and B the most. So I'll show you those in just a minute. Or you'll hear me talk about them as I go along, because we will be using them tonight. All right, I really like this set, and I think you are going to like the cards we're going to make tonight. So we just have to put these together right quick first. The way I do these Sunday night classes is, I think I've already said this, but they're create as you go. So I don't plan them out ahead of time. We just make them together, and sometimes they turn out, and sometimes they end up in the punishment box. I am excited to be here with you tonight. I've been, I think sometimes we get in a funk, a little creative funk, and that's kind of what had happened to me. I love to be creative. I love to be down here in my space, but in the winter time, it's a little trickier because not only am I down here where there is no possibility of sunshine, by the time I get upstairs, the sunshine is very limited as well. We do have some little windows down here. My creative space is in the basement, but in the wintertime it kind of feels like a dungeon. So I don't really know what a dungeon feels like. I've never actually been in one, but I do imagine that it would be a little bit like this. Not, obviously not this nice. It's not damp down here or dingy, but there are, you know, some spiders now and then, and it can be cold. I've actually taken a heating pad and I plugged it in underneath my feet, and so I usually turn that on when I come down here just to keep my feet warm. If you hear any loud shouting tonight, it's my husband is upstairs watching the Detroit Lions. He's really excited for them. They're doing well this year. All right, so then I place my backing sheet over the top because these will stick to your stamp case, and I do not like them to get stuck. All right, and so then what I do is I put an R on the back side of my stamping sheet so that I know when this R is facing the right direction, that's the right side of the sheet. Okay, so here we go. Let's get started without further ado. All right, and I really wanted to use this. I did want to use boho blue, but I think this in here is more of a balmy blue. let's look through. Now this paper is called Meandering Meadows. It's so pretty. It's not in a catalog though, so you will have to look for it online. Alright, and I'm gonna go with this piece, but let's get out a piece of that balmy blue and see if we like that a little bit better. I think we might. Okay, so here, well, I don't know. I think, I do think I like the boho blue better, so let's go with that. We'll go with the boho blue. All right. I wasn't sure which one I was going to end up with. All right. So now we have our piece of, this is boho blue, and it's cut 8.5 by 5.5. And it's scored here at 4 1/4. Let's double check, because I pulled this from my stash. I have a little stash behind me. Actually, it's kind of off to my right hand side of cards that are ready to be made. Like just regular size bases, 8.5 by 5.5. Some of them are scored and some of them are not. All right, so what we're gonna do is press that fold with our bone folder, and this first one is going to be a really quick and simple card. So here is our base layer. So we've got that boho blue, and then we're gonna grab a piece of Night of Navy. Whoop. I didn't see that extra piece in there. I would have just grabbed that one. And we're going to cut that 4 by 5 1/4. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. It was, there was some sunshine out today. I actually took a nap this afternoon, which was really nice. All right. So then I kind of want this right side to be the front of my card, so I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to cut it here at 3 3/4. All right. 5 5. And I turned it around and I cut off the bottom because I really like this. I want this top part to be, I want that to be in my card. All right, so there is that. And then we need some ribbon. I really want some ribbon. What color? Maybe some twine. Let's see. For a moment there, I couldn't remember where I put it. I'm sure that never happens to you. You never misplace your ribbons, do you? I don't know if you saw or not, but I just shared on my timeline, my regular timeline, this video with this little girl who answers the phone and then she can't remember the message. I feel like that happens to me a lot. And that's really why I am constantly writing things down. I'm always writing things down, because I cannot remember from one minute to the next what is going on. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to cut this at 3 3/4. Now this is a little piece of Night of Navy that was left over. when I was cutting the other part. And I'm gonna bring over Mortimer. He's gonna sit right over here and help us out with our glue. And we're gonna put a thin line of liquid glue, maybe, yeah, still a little bit left, around the edge, and then a tiny squiggle in the middle. And remember, when you're working with the liquid glue, you really only need a little bit. You do not need a globby bunch of liquid glue. Okay, so we're gonna glue that on. And I am not measuring tonight. I'm just eyeballing it. You can do this. If you have to measure, you can, of course. Hi, Janelle. My husband is watching the Lions game upstairs. I just heard him cheering rather loudly. But this time I know he's going to be cheering, so hopefully it won't catch me off guard. All right. Now we're going to wrap our linen thread around. And we're going to tie a little bow over here. And I know it's hard sometimes to tie bows. I have found a system that works for me. And I pull up a little loop on the left. I bring my thread around the back and then pull it through. And I find that if I always use that same process, I kind of talk myself through it, then I tie better bows. So now if I get caught up and I'm not paying attention, then when I tie a bow, it doesn't always end up the way I want it to. Okay, so there is our thread, and then we're going to turn this whole piece over, and we are going to glue that on to our Night of Navy cardstock, which is 5 1/4 by 4. Why does it look, it looks really crooked from this side. I wonder if I scooted it when I turned it over. We'll have to check that out. No, it looks right on the other side. I don't know, maybe my paper is really crooked. I can't tell. Okay, there we go. We're just gonna glue that in the center of our Night of Navy cardstock. I am sure that looks really crooked in the back, but it does not look crooked on the front. That's a little funny. Okay, and then we're going to press that down good. That glue will hold it, but because our thread runs under there, it does kind of pop it up just a hair there on the side. Okay, and then we're going to turn this whole thing over. And we're going to glue that right to the front of our card. So tonight we are making some really simple, sweet cards that we can send. Okay. And I really do like those blues together. I think they have turned out really nice. Okay, now also in the Thoughtful Expressions bundle. Hi, Wendy. I'm glad to see you. Are these really cool dies? Okay, so this one is going to match the hummingbird, and maybe we'll do that one next. I was trying to keep it really simple, but I do really love that hummingbird. But what I want to use now is these, I don't even know what to call them. They're like wavy, kind of wavy dies. Let's see, I need one that's just bigger than that. And I haven't got my magnetic sheets to put these on yet. I need to order some more magnetic sheets. You're in my thoughts today. I really like that one. Okay, so let's use that. And we're gonna die cut a little piece of white. Now look, my machine here lost one of its little feet. And I have been looking for some little replacement feet, but I don't want to order the wrong ones from Amazon. So if anyone knows what size little replacement feet to get or where to get them, I could really use a new little replacement foot for my mini cut and emboss machine. I think it's because I take it places and then those little guys get lost. All right, so now we need a little piece of white, little basic white, and we're gonna cut, uh-oh, I lost it. Nope, there it is. Woo! I almost did lose it. See, now I was talking about forgetting, and now I'm talking about losing things. So maybe it's not, maybe this is not my best day. But I did find it, so we're good. So we're good. All right, now we're just gonna run this through our mini cut and emboss machine. And remember, when you're using the mini cut and emboss machine, see how these are not the same? You do not want them all to line up at the ends. So you want to make them like a sandwich, but with an E shape. So if I am real careful, I can show you, see how that sandwich is offset. So like one is out farther than the other two. All right, I'm glad I was able to hold that together. Okay, and then we're gonna push it in until the little handle starts to turn, and then it should just slide right through. And I have found that in general, the closer you have your, I kind of put that one on the end, but the closer your die is to the middle of your plate, usually the easier it will go through. But look at that. Isn't that the coolest shape? I love these shapes. Okay, and even this is cool. It would make a good frame. I couldn't think of the word for a second there. All right, so then and I have searched all around for that little foot and I can't find it anywhere. So I probably took it in a bag somewhere and lost it. That's the only thing I can think of. All right. And I cannot find my Stampin' Pierce mat either. I'm losing a lot of things right now. So I'm gonna use my Stamparatus to stamp on. Here is my little shape. And then I'm gonna use this one, You're in My Thoughts, today. Because I love to send cards just because I'm thinking about someone. I feel like that's the best reason to get a card. Well, I mean, your birthdays and special occasions are important too. But it's nice to just know sometimes that someone is just thinking of you. All right, I'm going to put this over here, this die, so hopefully I won't lose it. Now, I told you at the beginning I was going to show you which blocks are my favorites. So this is a block D. It's a pretty decent size. This is block H. I actually have 3 of these. They work good for words like this or longer images. I bought them when I was doing a class with palm trees, and they were perfect for trunks, so I could get 3 trunks on 3 different blocks, and then I didn't have to switch them out while I was working. And then there's block B, and that's this nice little one. I love this little block. It's perfect for little things. So what I found when I'm stamping is I want my block to be only slightly larger than my stamp, if I can help it, because it's less likely to wobble. Okay, so I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I'll try to explain it. So when I go to stamp, if I'm holding it and it's just the right size, I have less tendency to, when I put it down, to lean my edges into the ink, because then just the stamp gets in the ink. And I don't get as many smudges when I'm stamping. Okay, so there's 3 of the ones I was telling you about. Block B and block H and block B. Those are 3 of my favorites. And then the next one I use a lot is this one, which is block E. So if you're looking to get blocks, those are my 4 favorite blocks. This one does most large images. Now, the only ones that you won't be able to get on here are the full background images. So, and in general, now I use my Stamparatus for those, but we do sell a block that's large enough for those images too. All right, so let's grab our Night of Navy. I feel like I'm talking a lot and I'm not doing enough stamping tonight. Sometimes it's like that, I guess. Okay, so here is our Night of Navy ink. And we're just gonna tap our stamp in there. Now, I have to be a little careful with my Night of Navy ink because for whatever reason, I don't know if you can see this or not, but see how there's like little raised parts. So when I'm stamping, I always try to get right in the middle of those or on one or the other of the raised parts. Otherwise, my stamp doesn't seem to be inked as evenly as it should be. So if you are having trouble with your stamping, you might want to check your stamp pads and just make sure that they look the way they ought to. All right, so now we're going to stamp right here on our cool die. I love this. So pretty. All right. And I was going to clean that off, and I know that I had my chamois out. I covered it up with something else. Okay. So there's our stamp. I still have to put that away, but it is clean. And here is our card. And we'll put it just here like this. Okay. I'll move this out of the way. I feel like my space is limited today. I don't know why. Probably because I haven't cleaned my desk in a while. And it's all, I say desk. It's not a desk. It's a table. It is one of those long folding tables. And I did actually cover it with wallpaper. So that's why it looks more like a table. Like a real table. I guess it is a real table. All right, I'm rambling. Tonight's a rambling night, I suppose. Okay, so we're just gonna put our sentiment on there. And I think it's so pretty. And then tonight we're going to put some of these iridescent pearl basic jewels on there. I love these little pearls so much. I feel like they take on a lot of the colors of whatever is around them. And I really like that. Okay, so we'll put one here. And then we'll put some up here. Okay, and there is our first card for tonight. I hope you like that one, and we will do another one. I wasn't going to do that hummingbird because I feel like it's going to need a lot of coloring. I love to color, but I was trying to keep tonight's cards kind of simple. So there is our first one, but I think it would be good to do that hummingbird. All right, so let's see. I can set it up here where you can still see it if you want to, if you're still working on yours. And then let's get out that hummingbird. And I think that's going to fit on our block B. So let's grab that. Of course, I put everything back away. Nope, it's not. So this is one of those cases where we're probably going to, oh, maybe it is. It looks like it will just fit on there. Okay, so we'll try it. And we will use, let's see, let's use another piece of this Meandering Meadows paper. I really like this paper. All right, let's see. Trying to find just the right one. I really like this side. But let's see, how do hummingbirds fly it? Maybe this way? I think. If we pop it up there, I think it'll be good. All right. Sometimes I can decide really quick what we're gonna do, and sometimes I can't. It's a little tricky. All right, so let's do some Highland Heather on this one. And I think we'll do our card base in white. I was going to do this navy, but I'm changing my plan here. All right, so there is a piece of white. All right, and let's make sure this is 5.5 by 8.5. Yeah. All right, so then we're going to score it at 4 1/4. Janelle, are you still watching? Is the game over? I'm just curious because I don't hear any more cheering going on. My husband did say he was going to be quiet during my video, but I could still hear cheering at the beginning. Okay, so let's do, this time, we're gonna do 5 by 3 3/4 for our next layer. Okay, so then this one needs to be 3 1/2. Actually, let's do 3 5/8. We'll make that purple just a little bit of a shadow around there. So we'll do, they won. Oh, good. Okay, well, I'm glad they won. That's what's important, right? Okay, well, so we did 3 5/8 by, let's do 4 7/8. And then the purple that's around our pattern will be just a little bit. Sometimes I do like to do that where it's just a little bit around there. Okay, so let's glue those together. I put Mortimer a little too far away. It was a little too far away from me. Well, I am glad they won. I know that they have been, they have had a long, hard battle. So I'm sure that there are lots of fans who are really excited tonight for them. Not only the fans, but I know some fans who have been waiting what feels like a lifetime, I'm sure, for a win like this. Like these, like the Sears have been. I am not a huge football fan. I don't mind it. And I will go to like football game parties, but usually, I'll be very honest, it's for the snacks. I love football game snacks. I love salsa and chips and all those little hot dogs in the crock pot, all those things. Okay, so here this is going to be our base layer, and then we need to work on our hummingbird. And so we need a piece of basic white. And let me see. I probably have a little scrap here in my scrap bag that we can stamp hummingbird on. Let's see. Yep, that'll do. Okay. And I can tell you that my white is like the biggest, that's my biggest pile of scraps, is white scraps. I always have the most of those. There are a lot of those, well, I say a lot. I don't know if there's a lot of Die Hard Lions fans, but there are some who have really stuck it out. So I'm sure that he is thrilled with their current progress. Okay. So now we need to stamp our hummingbird on here, and we will use Memento Tuxedo Black ink for that. Okay, and when we're stamping, we're gonna press our stamp down, but we're not gonna press it in hard. So Memento, as you're stamping, you'll notice is a felt pad instead of foam. And what that means is you can't press your stamp in as far as you would in the foam. So if you press in the foam, and press hard, your stamp will just smoosh down in there, and the ink will get everywhere on your stamp. With these felt pads, you're far less likely to get that. You're going to get, unless your stamp pad is a little old or out of juice, you're going to get a really nice clear image. So we're going to press firmly in the center and then pick up. And look how beautiful that hummingbird is. It is so, so pretty. Okay, I'm glad we chose that. I wasn't going to, but I'm glad we did. All right, so here is our hummingbird. Now, I am not a hummingbird expert, so I don't know exactly what colors a hummingbird would be. But what I want to do is pull out some of the colors that I see in the paper and try to use those. And then maybe a little something else for a pop of color. All right, so let's get our Stampin' Blends. All right, so the three colors that I picked that I thought would go with our paper here are, let's see, Daffodil Delight. I think this is Granny Apple Green and Highland Heather. I think so too. I think we're really gonna like it with that background. Okay, let's get to coloring this little hummingbird. So let's do some yellow on its wings here. And this is probably more like a fantasy hummingbird because I don't know. I know that hummingbirds are really beautiful. I do not have hummingbird feeder. What I really would like to get is some bird feeders in my yard. But I'm sure, I wasn't sure that would be a wise idea since I have a dog who chases everything. But I'm sure they can find times when she's not out there to eat their birdseed. All right, so there is some yellow. And then let's put a little yellow here around the eye. Okay. And then we'll go in with a little brighter yellow. And I'll just draw a few little lines in there. I'm not a fast colorer. Coloring is something I could sit and do for hours, so I have never really learned to be fast at it. Now, when I'm working with blender pens and ink pads, then I do have to be faster because they're so wet that that if you don't work fast, then your paper gets all smeared up. All right, now I have this is the light Highland Heather. So I'm going to use that next. And I'm just going to use that on the wings, I think. Okay, and then let's go in with the dark Highland Heather and kind of make a little more definition here. We can color some of these spots. Now, a lot of people probably aren't really even going to notice the details of the coloring, but I love to do it anyways. Okay, so there is that. And then I'm going to do let's see. Some of the colors are really close, and I have to really check their, colors when I'm going in. So this is the light Granny Apple Green. And I'm trying not to color over too many of the other colors that I've already put down. All right, and now I have no idea, like I've said before, if hummingbird would actually look like this. I don't know. But I do really like how it turned out. Okay, so what we're going to do next, and again, that was Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green, and Highland Heather. And I will be working on my tutorials this week. I know that I'm behind, but I am going to get them caught up. I'm determined. Okay, I know I have at least 2 to get to you. One from the first of this month, the first Sunday, and then one from today. And I think let's see, the first Sunday, I think that's the one where we did the treats. So, all right, now we're going to cut out our hummingbird. So in our Thoughtful Expressions dies is a hummingbird die. And it fits perfectly around that stamp set. I cannot tell you how excited I was to get this set of dies and stamps. I really like it. I like how the words look in the stamps. I like how the die is cut. And I really love those shapes, the label shapes. All right, so here we go. We've got it in there. And we can just wheel that on through. Oh, it got a little off, didn't it? You guys, it messed up my bird. Shall we color? I'm not going to color it again. All right. Maybe I am. Otherwise, it's going to have to go in the punishment box. And that's not okay. Not tonight. That's not okay tonight. All right. So what I am going to do for now, because I'm not, that's way too much white sticking off the edges for me. I'm going to fussy cut it. I should have been a little more careful about how it was going in there. So we'll just give it a little trim here. And it'll be fine. Now, if you didn't get the dies, you could always fussy cut this anyway. And I know that there probably people are like, why are you doing that? It's fine. It's not fine. I would know it forever. And then I'd have to donate this card to someone because I'd feel bad sending it. Knowing that it could have been a little bit nicer than it is. Okay, but I do think that trimming it is helping. I'm feeling better about it. So when you're lining yours up at home, do not do what I did, whatever I did, and let it slip. Okay, so there's our hummingbird. And what I am going to do, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to color his beak a little bit because I got a little too much white there. But I think if we just draw a little line along that edge, it'll look better. So we'll kind of fix it. There we go. I don't know, is it called a beak when it's a hummingbird? I assume it's still called that, but maybe there's a different word for it. If you know, and I don't know it, then just let me know. All right, so there is our hummingbird, and then we need some words. So I think we'll use this right here. Enjoy your day. And let's see if that will fit in one of these little labels. Let's see now. How did that go? I feel like I should have taken a picture of it. Maybe that way? Well, that looks close anyways. All right, let's see. No, it's not going to be big enough. I think this is too big. Okay, I feel like the dies are a little too big, so we'll just use a little piece of basic white. Like this. Let me bring that. I'm going to have to find my Stampin' Pierce mat, so I'm not always using my Stamparatus here. Although the Stamparatus is nice. I wish we still have those. All right. And this time I'm going to use that block H. This is really one of my favorite blocks. Okay, and we'll use black so that it'll match with the outline of our bird. So we're going to set it down in there and tap a couple times. We're going to make sure our words are nice and shiny. And I'm going to practice stamp just to be sure I'm inking it up the way I want it to look. Sometimes the first time you stamp, you'll notice that there are little inconsistencies in your stamp, and sometimes it's meant to be that way. So no matter how many times you stamp, it'll always have that same look. And sometimes it's like kind of an antique-y look. Now that time I feel like I got a little, it's not exactly what I wanted. I'm going to try it again. All right. Oh, and that time it's crooked. Okay, we're going with the first one. Sometimes you have to do the second one just to know that the first one was better, right? Okay. So we're just going to cut this. And I'm going to cut both sides at a little angle so that it looks like that. This will go in the punishment box. That, actually, I'm going to throw it away. Usually I put things in the punishment box, but that one is crooked enough that it has to go. All right, so let's use our twine again. I really like how that looked on the last one. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it around our layer. All right, I need to start it a little farther over. There we go. And I wrapped it around twice. Okay, and then we're gonna tie our little bow. So we're gonna pull up our loop on the left, go around the back, through the center. There we go. And I don't know why, I couldn't tell you why that exact method works for me. I know some people do bunny ears, the bunny ears method. For me, that doesn't work. So I always do loop on the left, go around the back, and then through the center. And for me, that makes my bow go the way I want it to go. Now, if I wanted it to go this way, I would have to cut my piece off and hook it to the back and then tie a separate piece on. That's the only way I found works for me. Works every time, I should say. Otherwise, it can work randomly. All right, and I need to cut these ends a little shorter because they're driving me crazy. Okay, so now we're going to turn this over and I seem to have lost my large dimensionals, but I have this little leftover bits of minis here, so I'm just going to chop up the edges. Where do all my dimensionals go? That's what I would like to know. I feel like I couldn't possibly have used them all up. I must have put them someplace safe. Where that safe place is, only heaven knows. All right. So now we have our layer here. And I'm gonna put my sentiment on next and then my bird. All right, I kind of want it to scoot over a little bit. Do you think I can make it do that? Probably not. It's probably a little too late for that. Okay. Must be. So we'll just stick it on there like that. And to do that, I am going to put some of these little dimensionals on. And this time I'm going to cut them a little bit smaller. I'm going to cut a little smaller. Whoops, I didn't mean for that to happen. Because I kind of need it to go on opposite sides of the string. Oh, that one didn't, it should be sticky, but it's not. What happened there? don't know. All right, this one's out. That one's out. Sometimes. All right, so we're gonna have to go with these because those little cut edges were not working this time. They were really causing problems. Can't have that in our stamping space, can we? Only I can cause problems in my stamping space. All right, so there is our little card, and now we're going to put our hummingbird on. All right, where do we think it should go? I think maybe up here, but then it's kind of far from the sentiment. But I like it there. All right, so let's put it up there. And let's see. Let's use our iridescent rhinestones this time. It would look okay. It would look perfectly okay with the pearls too, but I really want the colors to pop in here, so I'm just going to use these iridescent rhinestones. And let's add a little wink of Stella to our hummingbird. I really love this Wink of Stella glitter pen. So let's add this to the wings. And we just brush it on. And it's just going to add that little bit of sparkle. Hope you can see that coming out of there. I know it's probably a little tricky, but it really is beautiful. Let's put a little bit here by his eye too. His or her, I don't know. I guess if I say his, that's what it is since I created it. All right, so here is our second card for tonight. Let's see if you can you see that little sparkly glitter on there? It's just a little bit, but it makes it really pretty. Okay, so here is our second card. And here is the first one. And both of these we made with the Meandering Meadows paper and the Thoughtful Expressions stamp and die bundle. So we didn't use anything else. If you're looking for some really simple projects, well, we did use cardstock and linen thread. I take it back. We did use a couple little things that you probably already have, a pack of cardstock and some white paper, probably some linen thread and some kind of embellishment. If you are in need of this bundle or a Wink of Stella brush or any of the other things that we talked about tonight and you have any questions, then just let me know and I can help you find those in the catalog or online. I will be back on the first Sunday in February with another class for you, and that will be let's see, that will be, I don't have a calendar down here. Hold on a second. I can tell you what day that will be. Maybe I can. All right, it'll be February 4th. Okay, so I'll be back on February 4th. And then my next in-person class will be the third Friday in February, which is February 16th. So these are, I can show you the cards that we made at our last card class. And I know that I have some kits to send out to you. This one is one card we made. Now, this ring right here is from the Crafting with You bundle. And we actually put that up on a foam sheet. I die cut that and put it on a foam sheet. And this gold foil is on there. That's what makes that one so special. And then there is this one. So all of these could be good cards for this year. This one, which is a birthday card. And then this one here, which is just a simple hello card. This one's actually my favorite. But some of the ladies in class liked this one the best. So if you are, now there will be different classes, of course, for next month. And if you are interested in any of those, just let me know and we can get you signed up. There will be an email coming out. Let's see. Let's say I'm going to get it out by this Wednesday with the instructions for tonight's class, as well as the class on the first Sunday of the month. So I will see you next time on the 4th, February 4th. Happy stamping!